Hello, hello, Raul. How are you doing? I will be starting now. And for that, I need my OBS. Everything looks pretty fine. I think it should do. Maybe turn down my desktop volume because I mostly don't need it. And switch to the scene over here. I think I'm pretty bright. Let me just check. No, I'm not. It's just this monitor. I'm usually not using it that much. Whoops, that was also not what I wanted to do. Okay, still kind of fine. So, today, what is the plan? Just part 2 of the poster animation that I started last time and a quick walkthrough for this poster that you can see on the screen right now. And yeah, I have posted this 2 or 3 days ago. I don't actually remember. And I wanted to share a little bit about some of the tricks that I use that are not really related to the Flex plugin down here, because I think talking about Flex doesn't really make so much sense if people are not using the plugin. And yeah, that's why I will not talk about that in detail. We just set this to 100% about here. So most of the stuff that is just moving in these, I don't know, no grid shapes, I guess. Most of that, this motion of the parts in the middle is done with the flex. And if I turn on the visibility of the grid, then you can see my guidelines that are in here for rows and columns. That is this part. And these are just animated to move all of the parts in between. So here you can see the keyframes, just looks like that, and does the grid animation. That is part of the Flex plugin. And then there's some other stuff that is not part of that. For example, let's turn this off again. For example, the lines, the shapes that are moving across the screen, that is also pretty simple, but I think something that needs a little bit of tweaking to get right and to look good, I think. Hello, you are from Panama. That's great. Good to see you here. Great job on doing what I'm doing in general, or this part. I don't know exactly what you mean, but thank you, I guess. Yeah, these are just lines that I drew across the screen, and I have then just applied some trim paths. So if I just open the keyframes, you can't see that much trim paths. So contents, and then I clicked the add stuff, the add button, and added trim paths. And those are used to trim, basically just to trim the path from either the start or the end. And in my case, I animated both keyframes, the start and the end keyframe. Both are set to 0 and then go to 100 and are just a little bit offset. So the start moves a little bit a little bit slower. Here in the middle, you can see the values. The start is a little bit lower than the end, and then you just have this kind of result. Everything. Yeah, thanks a lot. That is great to hear. Yeah, that is basically the animation for the trim paths. That is done with these keyframes. And then what you can do, what you can also add, is some tapering, which makes the animation just a little bit more interesting in my opinion. So if I just set this down to 0 again and just play this, you can see it on this line. It just looks kind of boring. You probably will get fired. Are you sure? I mean, this might help you at work. I mean, depends on what you are doing at work. But if you are an animator or something like that, then I don't see a problem. Yeah. But good vibes, I guess. I have to say I also did that in the past sometimes. I don't think it's much of a problem if you can still get your work done. But yeah, that's another thing. What I was saying is it looks kind of boring in my opinion if you just have a path that is all the same width all over. So if you just add some tapering, it looks a lot more interesting, and all of these values are available for the tapering options. But I didn't use most of them. I just started or used the start length and set that to 100. And then I have just these lines that have a lot more character already. I mean, you can do a lot more if you want, but I think this does quite a lot already. So that is what I did for all of these. And then they just have different shapes, different paths that they take while going along the poster. I think that is pretty basic. Just grab the path tool, the pen tool, and just draw some lines. Whoops. Like that, for example. So if I did that, something like this, it would do the same thing. No, it doesn't. For some reason, I'm actually not sure. Did I add a new layer? No. But it doesn't animate the new path. That is fine. I didn't want to do that. Yeah. I work as a carpenter. Oh, that's cool. My dad worked as a carpenter, so I have a little bit, just a tiny little bit of knowledge about it, because I helped out sometimes. But that was not really what I was trying to do in the future. And apparently I'm a designer and animator and 3D artist now. Okay. So this is all of the stuff for these wiggly squiggly lines. And I have some more a little bit later. And basically the same thing for this part, for the impact of those two bubbles. It's more or less the same thing. The only thing that I also added, you can see this is the path that it takes. From the center, goes out like that. Same thing, same deal with the start and the end keyframes. Nothing much to that. The only thing that I also added is a repeater, which is under the same, wait, let me open up the shape layer contents. And then you can see there is the shape and the repeater. And this repeater is also the same thing. You click on the add button and then you have the option to add a repeater, that is. And then you just have to set the repeaters or the repeaters options and transforms to the thing that you want. And in my case, I just wanted to move the anchor point. I didn't want to have a position. So if you do that, it will just change the position with each copy, which is not what I was looking for, whatever. You can see what happens if I just change the value. Oh, tschüss. You know, tschüss, that's nice. Goodbye, I don't know. See you, keep editing. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will get some work done. I wish you good luck as well. Yeah, and I have some rotation applied. Instead, the scale, the position is the same. I moved the anchor point to the middle so that it starts in the middle, and then I added some rotation. And the rotation is, in this case, just based on the number of copies here, which is done by a little expression, which is super basic. So I basically just pick whipped from the rotation to the copies, just drag that over there and let go. And that will just add this little expression, content repeat 1 copies. That is just referring to the copies. And what I did then is got it into brackets and put 360 divided by in front of that. So it will always just use 360 degrees rotation divided by the number of copies. So if I change the number of copies, it will always stay symmetrical. And that is just useful if you if you are not sure what number of copies you will be going with. So that is what I did here. And at the start I had 8 and then I tried 7 and yeah, I finally settled on 5. So it was already worth it. And if you are having a project that takes a lot more animation stuff and you just use this stuff over and over, then of course it will be useful as well. And then you have a little bit of an impact like this. And to make it look good, then you can also, of course, change the curves of the animation itself to something that looks fine, that looks good. In this case, it looks like that. And I think in this case, it looks a little bit different. Yes, in this case, it just centered for all of these. So I just changed that to make it be fast when it starts and then slow down a little bit. And then it just vanishes by itself. Because and start keyframe, as you remember, are the same thing. So the next stuff that I did is this little bit of wiggle for the whole composition. Or not for the whole composition, but for the grid in the background. At the same time where the impact happens, so that it actually looks like it's interacting with each other, which is not the case because I don't know. I mean, there is no interaction between these pieces by default. It just doesn't work that way. And yeah, I just added that. So what I did for that is to add an adjustment layer on top of all the grid contents, which are conveniently named layer 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on and so on. But that is all the grid stuff in the background. That is what I did. And then on top of that, the adjustment layer. And the adjustment layer just has three effects applied, which are Turbulent Displace, Reptile, and Transform. And what they do is what I am going to tell you now. So first stuff, the most important thing basically is the Turbulent Displace, which is the effect that you are currently looking at. And that is doing all of this motion stuff. And I just started with an amount of 0, so it doesn't affect the layer at all. It doesn't do anything. Set the size to something that looked nice and basically just what is it for? Called gut feeling, I think. 640 in this case. Could be different for your stuff, but this is what I did. And then I set the evolution so that it moves around a little bit. And the evolution is just, I think no, it's not looping. So it doesn't really matter. You could loop it. The evolution options does give you the cycle evolution. So if you animate it from 0 degrees rotation to 360, it will be the same. But I did not do that, so it doesn't really matter in this case. It just evolves over time, and it's just going from, I don't know, 231 to 21. That's it. Could be something really different. If I rotate it a lot more, it will be just a lot more movement. Which way do I have to go? This way, for example. So now it will just dance like crazy. That is just a lot too much for what I was doing. I didn't really liked it that much. So I went for something like this. And then To make it happen, I also animated the amount and the size stays the same. Could also do that, but the amount is just going up to 87 and going back to 0 again. So it just moves a little bit and goes back to normal. The rest, of course, as I said, is done with the flex stuff, so that line moves across the screen. That is not done with this turbulent displace. And then the second stuff, where the other effects come in, are reptile, or the reptile in the transform effect, is this part at the end, where I set the anchor point and the position by using this little icon that is, I don't know, a cursor or something. I just pressed that and moved it to this middle point where both of these points, or both of these spheres, just meet and where they are rotating, so that it kind of moves with the spheres, so that it looks a little bit like they are in fact in the background in this position. That is what I did there. And then to make it move, of course, I just animated the rotation, also from 0 to, I don't know, 25 or something. Yeah, 25, and then just kept it for a little bit. You can see the keyframes. Here is the 25, and then it stays for like half a second, and then it just goes back to normal. Easing curve, something like this. Also very basic, nothing super special about that. And to make it work, because if I turn off the reptile before, you can see that it just moves the whole shape. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just has a boundary, I guess, because that's how it was set up. And if you just rotate it, you will have a black background. And that is not really what I wanted. So I used the reptile effect and set the amount to something high enough so that I don't have any edges visible. In this case, just 1000 for all sides, which basically just or if I use the tiling unfold, it will just use all the edges and mirror it across the edge. If I use something different, repeat, for example, you can see it will just repeat the post over and over again. Can also work if you are going for that. I didn't want that, so I set it to unfold, and now I can just rotate the poster and this kind of stuff happens. It's not 100% perfect, but I went for that in the end anyways, because I didn't notice when I exported it, and then I was like, yeah, forget about it. Nobody will notice unless I tell you that there is a little bit of a red line here. That should be fixable if I apply, let me just check this really quick so that we all can learn something. Apply the, what is it called? Choker, match choker, simple choker. And drag it before the reptile, I think. And if I set it to negative, it doesn't work. If I set it to positive, it doesn't work. Okay, maybe I need to apply it after. I'm not sure if it actually will work. I used it in some other cases, but it might not work at all after the transform. If it doesn't work, I will just delete it. Okay, in this case, it didn't work. Maybe there is a fix for it. I don't know. If you know, you can tell me how to fix the line, because it shouldn't be there in the first place. I mean, as you can see, right here, it is not there. Just over here at some point, it just starts to appear. Or not, apparently. There we go. Okay, there it is. But that is not really what I wanted to have. Maybe it's just because I have not animated this part properly, but I think that is a bug. Not sure. Can't tell you. But for other areas, because some of these different tiles I had the same issue, the simple choker was doing a great job if you set it to a negative value. that worked quite fine. Okay, I think that is everything that I wanted to talk about on this poster. And as I mentioned, the rest, most of the stuff is done by the flex layout stuff. And then, yeah, for all the different parts of, or the tiles, which I called them before, I just did some basic rotation stuff as well. So some of these are just pre-commed as well. So let me check. I mean, as I said, it is all not named correctly. This one, for example, yeah, right here, we have just one tile and it is apparently some piece that is not animated. That is great. Let me check. No, this one is also not visible. Where is it? This should be animated, I hope. It's also, what the heck? This is why you name your stuff. Because it's always going wrong if you need it. This one. Okay. Apparently the project is too old and I don't remember. I just pre-comped them and animated them, yeah, in here. So, yeah, okay. Basically there's the same thing going on. I added to this piece a rapid tile effect. If you don't have it, it looks like this. Same style here, same stuff. And then if you rotate it and add the rapid tile, it will just look fine. And for some of those, I think this one specifically, that was layer 8. Yes, this one has the simple choker, for example. That was what I was talking about. If I remove the simple choker and go to 100%, at some point there will also, yes, be a line somewhere here. So this is basically the boundary. It's probably hard to see, especially on stream, because the lines have the same color. Let me just recolor this. This is the boundary, and there is a little bit of a line, which is not great. It just looks really shitty in the final animation if there are just random lines that are also just skewed. And what the heck is this? I don't know. So what I did with that is to add a simple choker, set it to, in this case, -3, and that fixes the problem. So up to 100% again. I think now I'm pretty much done. Maybe just a little bit about the spheres really quick. They are also in a separate composition. You might have seen it before. This is also the flex stuff, so don't worry about that. I did not write these expressions. If I go into that, that is... Okay, this still the same mess, but messy. That is what I was going to say. So what you can see here is what is in this composition, moving the spheres left and right and just changing their size with the flex stuff. And then they are also masked. I'm not really sure what I needed this one for. Position. Okay, it's probably also not named correctly. I just sometimes, especially for private projects, I don't always name my stuff, because if I work on it, I know what I'm doing, and at some point in the future I will not. So this kind of stuff happens. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but if I go back, I think there should be somewhere some keyframes. I think, yeah, here. This part is also bound to a null object, and the null object is then rotating. You can see here the orange square is the null object, and it's also in the center so that I can rotate it around this point exactly. And then it is also moving. This little bounce animation is also done with this null object, and the curve looks like this. It's also probably not perfect, but it's looking fine in the end. So it goes fast and then fast again and slows down. I don't know what that was in my voice for that second, but I'm sure you don't mind that much, because I don't. I'm fine with it. Yeah. Okay. That is it for this stuff. Flex, some normal position and rotation stuff, and some trim paths, basically. And a little bit of turbulent displace. Okay, I don't need to save this. I also don't need any of this right now. I'll just close this project. Don't save. Bye. And then I go into InDesign again. Yeah. Opening the project, I hope. Oh yeah, and I made a lot of different variations. I have to check again what was voted on. Let me check my archive in Instagram again, because I don't remember exactly the favorites. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, it was 5, 3, and 3 for 5, 3. No, 5, 3, 3, and 5 votes. Okay. So I can go for the kind of Germanish title, which is interesting that it was voted that much, or just the Piet Mondrian stuff. Not sure. That is also something that I will probably add in the end, so I still don't have to decide on that, because that is also not really layouted that much. But I think, how do I do it? I think I'll just fix the layout stuff on this one, and then it will probably, hopefully, maybe work in the end. Trying not to make it too complicated for now. Sure what to do with this stuff. I'm just trying to think how to get this into the flex grid, because that's not super easy to do with these gradient shapes. That doesn't work totally perfectly all the time, because as I just said, we just have sometimes these boundaries, these edges that look weird, and I might have to fix that. And then there's also this kind of stuff where, not sure if that will be visible, but there's just a tiny, tiny, tiny little line that is flashing every other zooming, what is it called? Like stairs in German. I don't know, just zoom level. There we go. Different zoom level. Every other one, it will be greenish from the background. Which one was that? I think the layout one, yes. But I have it exactly on the line, and there shouldn't be anything to see. Maybe it will not be visible in After Effects, I don't know. That is fine, I think, I hope. The question is just how I will set up the different layers. I think I need a line here. And then I might actually have to export these as PNGs. As I said, because that was, I think, visible. Was that right? No. Didn't I save it? No. Let me check. Open reset should be in there. Nope, it's not. Okay. Probably because it was a PDF file, and that makes sense. I don't think so, actually. Or did I delete it? Where did it go? that is not the right one. Maybe I'll have to check really quick in Bridge to be sure. Poster design and really? Nope. Oh, love it. Pinned it. I want to open it, not pin. Open with Bridge so that I can preview the PDFs. There it is. Bubblegum. Didn't find it because the date is wrong. I didn't update the date. Oh, and there's the AE file. Oh, I opened it in the other version of Illustrator probably. That was the problem, I think. Let me... Okay, nope. Can I open it in Illustrator 21, please? Thanks. No, I can't. It's also pinned now, isn't it? That's annoying. That's something that is annoying about Windows. That works better in Mac systems, in my opinion. Okay, here we go. The problem, of course, was that all the stuff that is not a mask is just bigger in the end. Wait, what? These shapes, at least. I mean, the shape is done there. The boundary is there, but then there's still the outline. Just because the export of this stuff as PDFs is not perfect. Maybe I should switch and design the posters in Illustrator completely. But since it was a poster series in the start, it made sense to start in InDesign. Okay, before I do anything, let me just, that is part of this, great. And I think it's fine. Probably more this direction. Oh, what is that? Okay. Maybe it will be this one that goes down here. Oh. You know what? Forget about it. It will not be. I'll just make a new shape in this area. Come on, please. No, snap it to the... You kidding me? That's very annoying. Okay. Don't want to listen to me? Then I guess not. And no, maybe red, pink, something a little bit darker. I'm not sure. Oop. I wanted to pick a color for the fill, not for the outline. And apparently it still doesn't work. Why? No. Come on. Please. I'll never get how the color picker actually works in InDesign. It will always be a mystery to me. This is not working out. Not working out the way I wanted. Maybe it does work in the end. Because now I have the green fill. Can also probably lock the text layer. Oops. Is this the right part? I am not too sure. The problem is that I want it to be dark, but not that dark. You can see that that is a problem, I think. I think this doesn't work. Let me check. It has a weird color. Why does it have a weird color? What is happening with that? Oop. Let me just try and copy. Nope, that was not a copy. This is a copy. And do this. That is also not snapped correctly. Now it is. And then something like this. No, it has a red corner. Is that the same stuff here? No. It is this piece, I think, that is shining through. Yep. Still the same thing. I think I'll just leave it at that. So that it will be fine for now, and then I don't waste more time on this. I can still change colors. I mean, I'm trying to show something, and for that I think I should be fine. So I got this as a layer, text as a layer, and the layout, which is all of that. I am actually not too sure if it works to keep these on a separate layer, like a layout 3, because I'm super clever and can come up with exciting names, or not. So now, yes, all of those are on a separate layer, but I wish it would be easier to just export it to Illustrator in a way that preserves layers and shapes. Because exporting as a PNG certainly does not serve that purpose. So let's try it. Let's do it. That was not PDF. Now we have it, and I'll actually name it this. Same stuff. Same what? Oh. What happened to my keyboard? Oh no, my numpad is probably turned off. Yes, 2022 0204 and bubblegum stuff. Page 38. Export should be fine. Yes, 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 yes. I wonder if there is an option to export it better so the stuff that I was talking about is not happening. Open with Illustrator. Where are you? Open with Illustrator. I mean, it probably doesn't matter which one. So yeah, it always, for some reason, which I also don't know why that happens, will convert this specific text layer into outlines. And oh no, now it did it for this one as well. Maybe it's because of the transparency, actually. I have no idea. But this one is still a text layer for some reason. It just does it. Let me turn off these, and is this the text? Yeah, that's, oh, okay, that's all one group. That is not too bad, actually. I think I might leave it at that for now. This is just what I mean. Creates these weird shapes. These weird clip groups, and if I ungroup the clipping mask, it just does this. Okay. it might just work this way. If I leave it the way it is, just clean up these stuff that I definitely do not need, which is the empty clipping paths from just a few moments ago. Then we have, okay, the text, the text, the text, and the text. That can also be just one group. Can you? No, of course not. This way, group, and the one below actually should also be in that group. Now this is my text. Perfect. And we have all of this stuff on top. If I set it to the correct mode, no, it will probably not work because it has different modes, I think. Or does it? Oh, I'm not. I think all of these have their own 20% overlay. Yes, and I am pretty sure that the other stuff is on 100% and something like screen. Yes. Okay. So I need those pieces in a group, and that will be the same. And those will be in a group, and that will be the same. And I hope I can ungroup that now. Looks fine to me. Because all that is going across the artboard will be cut off in the end. Remove the path, and now we have all of the different layers that are needed. No, not exactly. Wait. Turn this off and group these. Oh, background. Now group all of the stuff that is separate pieces together. I think now it will be fine. I hope at least. The thumbnails are also looking weird. Let me actually make these a little bit larger because I can never see anything myself. I know it's super small on my screen, and also just really whack. My whole setup is messed up right now because it constantly switches between monitors. So now release these two layers, get these out, and delete the top layer. Now we have the text. Actually, I'll name it really quick. Mond. Then we have corn, and we have feet. I'm just assuming, yes. Then this is whoops shapes and whoops shapes. Got that. And wait, what? There's nothing on this layer? Probably not. I would assume. It doesn't really look like I'm doing much. Nope, not changing anything. Delete that as well. Contains artwork. Yeah, I can see that. It totally does not. And then we have all of the other layers. Perfect. Those don't need to be named, I think. Same stuff. And now save this as not a PDF, but again, another AI, and call it AE for artifacts. Naming should be okay. Excuse me. Now we save it And I would hope that it works the way I wanted to, but I'm actually not sure. And I have to pay attention how I set up the flex grid still. Even the way I do it. Let me just check my messages in between really quick. Yeah, good. 20, no, not 2022, poster design. And this one. Import as composition, retain layer sizes, and import. Some reason my mouse seems to be slow at the moment. Not sure why that is the case. There we go. Okay, all of the texty stuff is set to the wrong mode, which, whoops. Why am I not in After Effects? Why pressing buttons? What the heck? Okay. Set to screen. Then these can be the way they were. Oh, my did I actually delete the wrong layer now? And my probably did, right? So there was still something. And this layer, it was just okay. Excuse it. Okay. This is better. Okay. Close project again. Don't save. Go back into this composition, retain layer sizes, import, and there we go. Hopefully looks bad because again stuff is set to the wrong modes. Then we have the layer 7 set to overlay. Get all of these, make it yellow for now. And yes, background, goodbye. Okay, it's still wonky. Not really sure if there's a way to prevent that totally, because now I still have the size of the whole layer, which is exactly what I was trying to prevent. It shows the clipping mask the way that I want, but it doesn't do the job in the end. That is sad. So I still need masks so that it works. Yeah, another time. Sorry about that, but I don't really think there is a good way to prevent all of that. So let me just make a new layer for a few masks. This is also super tiny. White, so that we can see. Is I don't want to know. Probably my mouse is now working better again. Make some copies just to make it a little bit easier at least. Snap, 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 snap. Where you at? Snapping is not available. What the heck? That looks good. Now I only need to also separate all of these, release to layers sequence, drag them out and remove the layer. And then put these on top of the other layers. somehow, which is the best way to do it. Probably like that. Okay, these are still... Is the snapping turned off fully? No, why doesn't it work then? Very weird. I think it should be at least a little bit smaller instead, so that we can avoid the lines that were happening before. No wide edges around these to just prevent it from the start. I think that should hopefully work. And now we do all of the stuff for these. This should be that one. This one in the corner is here. Then we have this one. This is the other side. Maybe that's the better way to do it. I don't know. Check which one turning off here and then just get it on top. I know that is something that is kind of boring to do. Was that? No, that was not right. Okay, which one is it exactly? This. Good. Then we have this, which should be that one, and we have this, which should be that one. Then we have this, and this, and this. Nope. Then this one. Yeah. Kind of messy. I just hope that it works now. It's wrong. And whoops. Yeah. No, composition is right. Layer size is right. Merge layers. No, it was not right. Same stuff. Composition, retain layer size, import. And get all of these and turn them off. Then there's this layer that is also turned off for now. Background. And then every second layer from top to bottom. Perfect. And set alpha matte. Perfect. And make them shy, maybe? Just thinking about what would be the best approach, probably that. So now that I can make a flex grid out of that, save this one first and into poster design 220204, and there we go. There it is. So that I can not mess up too much. Oh, right, yeah. Okay. In the end, it does not actually work that well. I would have to unlock them. No, to lock them, to not use the shy layers, but instead this stuff. Now I can't select anything anymore because the masks are hidden. That is complicated. And the worst thing is that I am not sure if it works. Rig row, yes. That is looking good. I want a new row, so I'll hold shift. That is looking good. I mean, I know that Flex has a create mats mode, but that will only work if the mats or the base shapes are the right size, which they aren't. Oops. Yeah, I have to not select these, so maybe just like that. Rig column. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I know. My disk is full again. I need to change some stuff and fix that. Okay. That is looking good. I'm just wondering if I would bound two of those together so that I can move them together. Not sure yet. Let me just turn off the masks again. That is probably still not working right. Because now, even if I, whoops, hide all of these, it will, if I move them, still just move the mask and not the content, which looks bad, obviously. The question is, price question, what happens if I pre-compose all of them? Expression errors, of course. And the size is not correct. I'm just not sure if I can like manually rig them. For some of these it might work, but for some of these it also might not. For example, this one should be problematic, yeah. That's rigging it to the wrong columns and rows. That's a little bit of the annoying stuff. This approach is just a little bit annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how to fix that specific case of having these shapes that are not the right size. Can I just kind of recomp only this to do it? Yeah, I know it's now we have an expression error again. Oops. I didn't mean to remove all of that completely. I just wanted to remove these parts from the grid so that I don't get any expression errors if I do that and pre-compose those. Still, why is that happening now? It's not bound to the grid and I'm still getting expression errors. That is confusing me a little bit now. Oh, yes. Sure. Because I now have a copy of these two layers. That fixes the problem, but not really. I'm still not sure. I mean, I manually have to resize the composition to this piece then, somehow. Is there some way to do that? That's what I mean with just going for PNGs instead. Yeah, I'm not too happy about all of this. The word. Yeah. Just remove the grid totally. Maybe also the masks. And do actually don't know if I need to do this if I export them as PNGs. Let me check. Just get rid of the masks. Here too. Nope. Same deal. And then instead, oh, they are all locked. I know. Locked one, unlocked one too much. And now where is it? Asset export. As I said, all of these are messed up. Nope. Oh no. Please pin this side. Hello? Hello? Pin it. Yes, thanks. Artboards, asset export. Just drag it out. Then it doesn't work. Alt drag as a single. No, I want all of these as a separate asset. SVG. No, that I can't import SVGs. So it doesn't work as well. PNG, yes. And scale. Like, I don't know, one time should do all right. I will still go for 2 times. And how do I name these? Just by numbers, I guess. Or can I rasterize all of that instead? I mean, now this is just an image. Like this. Boundary should be fine. No clipping mask. No weird stuff. Just a simple thing. I hope this works. Then I can use it in the future. Rasterize all of these, just to be sure. And rasterize this one. Well, yay, much fun. And I think I have to rasterize all of them alone, because otherwise it will just be one huge image, which is also not what I was trying to do. Rasterize, and okay, and 3 more times, and I'm done. Rasterize, and object, rasterize, and okay, and 1 more time. If this works, that would be really convenient. I'm gonna delete every other layer that had a mask before. Save this again. If it doesn't work, I can still do another version. I mean, all of this is messed up anyway. Okay. Yeah, and now I might need to think I can steal the position from these, right? Just set this. Oops, this was the scale, not the position. And then it should be doing. Oh, and a line here. That's not too shabby. This one is, but that's fine. Fixable like that. Okay. They are scaled to 100%. This is scaled to full. And the composition is small. Okay, I need a bigger rasterization, I think. Do I? Wait. Unembed. There should be the option to get some information about these. Because I have no idea how big they actually are, how much resolution they have. Is that links, I think? That should show me some information. 1337 by 608. 605 by 608. And the large ones. 1337 by 1334. That is not an issue unless importing that into After Effects doesn't work in the same size. No, wait. Those are fine. The composition is just too small, which I just noticed. So scale up the composition. I'm now a little bit dizzy, not really, but my brain is just a little bit clouded, I think, because of all this nonsense. Now it's at 100%. I mean, obviously, if I scale it to 200% size, then it will not look good and it will be blurry. But I feel like it is still blurry if I have it at 100%. Scale it up a little bit more. I just want to be sure that it's not still super bad stuff. Oh no, that may just be the issue because it is not There we go. Not scaled up properly. Okay, we still have some lines around all the different pieces. So the rasterization is not 100% perfect. But at least I have something to work with for now, and I can still change the stuff. I mean, I can still fine-tune that one later. But now at least I have some shapes that I can work with and that I can replace if I need to. Now I save this and just really quickly screen. Layer 7, nope, overlay. Good. Yes. I think. Check. Something is different. What is the info part set to? Oh, not the same. That explains. Yeah. If I set this to screen, it will look the same. I was just wondering that. Okay. Might leave it at that. I'm not sure. It's not super important, so. Yeah. I guess it will be not super visible. Doesn't matter. It's just the number of the frame, I think. Wait, screen. There we go. Yeah. Number of the poster. Okay. Then unshow all of these again. Rig column. Yes. Perfect. Always forget which one is which. I think we finally should be able to do the stuff. Oh, but I might just still create some mats now. I think that should not be too bad. So that I can still move the tiles inside of the frame, I guess, or the mat. And wait, unshow these. Break a row. Break another row. Third row and number 4. And I hope. Yeah, so now I basically did the same thing. Basically have some mats the same way I did before. Just that it is now done automatically based based on their current size, which is perfect. That is exactly what I want. Okay, now it is stretching, or yes, stretching the layers. It should also be that way. Stretching. Because fill will look weird. Or does it? I could do it differently for different squares. And try what happens there. And I can still change the stuff. Because it's based on expressions. I don't know, I'll leave it the way it is. I just want to get some animation done now. Finally. So there is actually some, yeah, I guess some animation. Because I was promising to do animation. Still needed a lot of work because I have myself not worked with the Flex plugin that much. I think it's just a really cool tool, but it does not work with gradients that well. Or at least if you import them the way I do. I don't know if there is a better way for that. Probably kind of is. Let me check the flex layers. What is going on with the flex layer? Okay, yeah. Yeah, of course. It still has expressions. That makes much sense. Okay, I see. Yeah. It just, of course, has not the same options, then not the same effect control because it doesn't need it. Because it's the mat. Hey. Good. I could just hide the outer ones. Can I change their position? I think I can. Without any problem. Hope so, at least. Now we have only the ones that are interesting, and I actually will add some null objects to wait, no, null. If that works, but it should totally be possible, so that I have less stuff to be working with, and I can easily also just hide all of the grids, the grid controllers. Can just grab these and set them to shy, and also hide them. Turn this on, and now we have just simple controllers. Great. Save again. That is good, very good. Grid control, gutter, slider, matte roundness. I can work with that. So that, oh, and I can do that. Yeah. But I think that will also just not look good. Because the gutter is not the same in the middle, it's just a lot wider than on the outside. And I don't like that. Of course it is. Okay, so probably don't need this one as well. Now I have all of this stuff ready for animation. How long did I do the animations? 10, 15 seconds? I think. Maybe I'll just set it to 12 for now. And then... oh, oops. I forgot that these are still hidden. Nope. Could probably hide the masks instead. Not sure. I want to do that. Oh. What is happening here? Am I still live? Does it work, or it seems to be frozen? Am I dropping frames? No. Yeah. No, it seems to be fine. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just frozen on the restream viewer and still fine on Twitch and YouTube. I hope at least. Okay, so what I wanted is to get all of the layers, excluding, wait, no, excluding the nulls to also lock them. Problem is that I can't just easily unlock them. Probably is also a plugin for that. Offline on Twitch and online on YouTube. I don't know. I just hope it's still going. I also don't want to do much more right now. I just want to do some quick motion for this stuff. And I can also probably turn these layers on again so that I know what I am actually doing here. Ah, okay. Wait, why is this one blue? Oh. Okay. It's just the mask. Interesting. Okay, I seem to be online again. Good. Whatever happened there. I have to maybe check that out a little bit later. Just try to get some shit done. And keyframe here. Probably don't need that over there. Move that closer together. Good work, good work. Of course, I am also not particularly sure what the idea is here. Mostly just going for some random motion, and I can fine tune it later. I think the general idea is pretty clear. I just sadly had to waste kind of a lot of time on just preparing the whole scene. So something like that, what was the idea? And I could just do some extra stuff the way I was doing it before on the other poster. And I think it's very interesting the way that this is just a really green poster now, just because of the scale of the individual boxes, and the red and orange ones are super small that way right now. Could also maybe get a grid back in here so that I can move these on the grid a little bit more. Not sure yet. Grid inside of a grid would also be an option, I think. That's not super easy to just do in one. I'm not sure where I'm going with this sentence. Not so easy to just set up on the fly, I guess. That is more what I was trying to say. All of the little bars in between need also need to be separated, which I haven't done right now because it was just too much.